Hi, in this section, I'm going to discuss the work of Malcolm Swan. So this is my notes page, and down here you can see the links related to Malcolm Swan's material. So he's a very important figure in educational design, and he's produced a lot of useful materials for mathematics teaching through his long-term development and research. And one of the major sources that you can find out his work is here in the Improving Learning in Mathematics website. I show you two links. One is about challenges and strategies, talk about the design of the material, and the other one is the links to directly to the materials. So you can open this in other pages. So you can see this is the source from the STEM Center e-library, and below is the highlight of the items in this document. And this is my document with some annotation. So you can click open this to see the entire document. And this is the original source. So you can go to the Education STEM Center e-library to find out more material. So this is the project, Improving Learning Mathematics, and this is the document that I just showed you. If you look at the project itself, it actually includes a lot of different sections. One section is about the teaching materials and activities. So if you open this, then you can download a long list of materials. Right? So you can further open each one and then find out more within it. And for me, I download all the materials and put it into one single file. So you can open this file, I open this link, and then you can see all the teaching materials in one single file. So I'm talking about these two links. Okay, one is the teaching materials and one is the strategies and challenges. Okay, so if you open the files of the materials, then you can see this. So you can see this document. So this is the collections of all the teaching materials in the website Improving Learning. And that is a document with around 400 pages, right? All these are ready-made teaching materials of different topics. So this is a very rich source, right, for you to learn about lesson design. So if you click on the sections, you can see that it's roughly divided into topics like numbers, algebra, shape and space, statistics, and calculus. And you can see the subtopics, right? So for example, this one is about evaluating statements about number operations. And these are the materials that you can directly use. Another one here is about operations of numbers, so which may be useful in elementary stage. So here are the materials. So you are asked, students are asked to match these expressions with some of these figures in order to develop their understandings about the operations and expressions with numbers. Another similar task in algebra can be found here, which they call interpreting algebraic expressions. So this is one example of the specially designed task by Malcolm Swan using cards to sort, right, for the student to match and sort. So these are the algebraic expressions written in symbols or written in words, and then there are also pictures, right, to match with the expressions or tables. So more about these activities can be found in my notes here. You can click on this link, and then you can see more information about this task. Okay. So there's even some detailed explanation by the author in this task, or some trial run in our classroom in Hong Kong. And this is one of our projects which invite the teachers to try out some of this kind of tasks and other kind of rich tasks. For example, so these are the pictures showing the students' trial inside the classroom, how they're matching the figures and the expressions in order to develop the understandings of the algebraic expressions. So this is one of the very popular tasks developed by Malcolm Swan. And you can even try the Desmos activity here. So if you click open this, so originally the task is supposed to be used with paper. You cut out the cards made by paper and then just put it on the desk and then arrange and match. But nowadays with the Desmo activity, you can also easily do it online or electronically. Right? So for example, the ones that I show you will be like this. So students are asked to match this. And this is a very well-designed set so that you can talk about the equivalence of expressions or the different representations. So this is one answer of matching. And in my page, if you log in with my teacher's account, then you can also see the students' responses. So it is a very good place for you to look at the students' work, conduct the activity, and see how the students do the matching. And more important, these materials can be displayed in the classroom and further discussed with the students, right? Including some maybe wrong matching. So it can be selected. Using the Desmo activity, it will be more flexible and powerful in conducting the discussions. Okay, so you can find out more about this particular task created by Malcolm Swan, but the material itself includes not just the card sorting task, right? It includes many other different kinds of tasks that I will explain later in the guides. So this is a very big file, including many different materials and of different topics. So you can come to this guide to find out more about the design. So this is the guide, okay? So you can refer to this notes again. So this is the links. So this is the link to get the documents of the guide. Okay, so in this file, so you can see how this author explained the principles behind the designs of the materials. And so there are certain highlights I put down here because it includes the way that you can use the materials and even some general teaching ideas or practical tips, which can be very useful whether you use this particular materials or not. So you can go to the site, the sections about, for example, the principles, and you can see this descriptions of the general principle, such as how we emphasize the use of misconceptions, right? How we can direct the students to talk about or think about the misconception in order to better develop the concept. And similarly, there are also quite a lot of emphasis in the questioning skills while using these materials. And then you can further down to see how important it is to use the rich task. Okay, so for the rest of the material, you can also see specific advice on the use of the material. Right? For example, this is about questionings with the mini whiteboard. So these are very practical skills of using the material. So regarding the types of materials, activities, you can also see this chapter 4 and to go through the special types of materials that the authors are designing. And finally, Chapter 5 gives also further suggestions on the techniques inside the classroom. For example, you will see more about questioning. So in this section, there are more details about general questioning skills, no matter you're using the suggested materials or not. So this is a very good checklist for you to understand the different details of using questions in the classroom. Similarly, this section is about misconceptions. So how important it is to address the questions of misconception and even understanding the nature of misconceptions. So these are very practical advice for new teachers. And so this is sections about group work, how to organize group work. And this is a section about catering for learners' diversity. And finally, this sections explain more about the natures of formative assessment, how the whole set of materials are designed based on this principle. So this guide as a whole is a very useful and also even very well organized, right? Set of advice and suggestions for you. And another source that you can try to consider will be this one, the mathematics assessment project. So in this link, you open this link. Here is my notes to certain parts in the website talking about the formative assessment principles. So you can scroll down to see the explanations about the lessons. So you can open the links here or the documents. You can also see the documents that I already downloaded. So this is a more recent website containing similar kind of materials by Malcolm Swan and his team. And this website organized the material in the sections of lessons and tasks. So you can find out a very long list of lessons of individual topics based on the same kind of principles that I've just explained earlier. And in this part about the project, the author further explained the principles of formative assessment behind all these materials, how it is the guiding principle in designing these materials in the classroom. And you can even find out further information from these sections of professional development modules, also from the same website. So this is part of the professional development modules, also focusing on the formative assessment. But there are other sections talk more about concept development, problem solving, and questionings or working collaboratively. So these are also valuable materials for you to learn about the teaching ideas. So in this part about formative assessment, you can also check this guide for further details and even access these videos to illustrate the principles explained in the documents. So go to this website and find out more. Okay, so you can see this is a very well organized website. Or just check the links, the first two links I mentioned earlier about the principles that they describe in the guidelines and also the materials that you can easily download from the website.